ladies and gentlemen. We are back again. We are back again. We are back again. Happy. Is it Friday? What day is today? Jesus, have mercy on my soul. It's happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday. We're back with another double back episode. We're back on back-to-back live streams. I hope that your day went great today. I hope that you did something new. I hope that you tried something new. I'm happy to be with you tonight. I'm happy that you're with me tonight. More of the continuation of the live stream that we had yesterday. And so we're not going to delay. We're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Introducing our day of the day as far as our national holiday is concerned. Today is Bahrain National Day. Bahrain National Day. Shout out to all my Bahrainians out there. It's Bangladesh Victory Day. Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. Jeez. I'll tell you what. Day of Reconciliation. Kazakhstan Independence Day. National Chocolate Covering Anything Day. All right, sounds good to me. There's your national holidays of the day today, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see you in the building. Make sure you like on the way in. We're talking about the lead attorney today. We're talking about a continuation once again of the Jay Rafael, whatever his name is, Black, the guy who killed 2 women and himself. We're continuing this discussion because we have a lot more to talk about. Another news article is coming to us from Dallas. A 14-year-old girl was shot dead, or she was found shot dead. Dallas, not too far away from me. So they have no arrests. They have no leads at the moment. They just know that she was shot around 3:25 in the morning. And they're investigating, asking anybody in the area that knows anything to call Detective Bose Rojas, 214-681-1786. Public information out there. 14-year-old girl shot dead. Age 14, her life is gone. Why are we talking about this again today? Well, because I watched a live stream. Shout out to one of the top subscribers who's been with us for a long time, an OG, who's watching right now, who sent me this article and who sent me the story, rather, and sent me everything that I'm going to read to you. So we have words from the best friend, and I know some of y'all have seen this. If you're not understanding what I'm talking about right now, 2 women were killed 4 days ago by a man who posted a video before he did the killing. He posted the video to his Facebook account, which was actually live, and it paused right before a second killing took place, which I believe was the ex-wife. And as he killed her, he killed himself soon after. And upon following up on these stories and reading and doing these investigations and, looking into the situation, I had a lot of subscribers send me videos of manosphere and big content creators that were siding, it seems like, with the man in the situation. It seems like they were siding with the guy. And so we're talking about the lead attorney today because the lead attorney is an attorney, which it makes sense. If we're talking about something which was potentially caused over child support issues or the courts or the system, then who else to ask than somebody who understands the system, an attorney, right? Before we get to lead attorney's page, let's read something about gun violence and black women. There's an article that was written more than 2 months ago, so you can assume that this has gotten worse since then. It follows up on what Black Femicide USA talks about on Instagram. At least 4 black women and girls were murdered per day in the U.S. last year. That's a very conservative number. We estimate that it's much higher than that. This is a photo of Jennifer Redmond's 19-year-old daughter who was shot to death last year. FBI recorded at least 405 additional murders of black women and girls last year, which is a conservative number once again. In quotes, it says that what's sad is these cases aren't taken too seriously. It's just another black girl. Now, these girls aren't married. Keep that understanding going forward because we're talking about violence at the hand of the system today, as if black women don't have to deal with violence. So much so, as a matter of fact, that the news article goes on to say this: more vulnerable to violence. The increase in murders of black women comes at the overall U.S. murder rate rose nearly 30% due to the pandemic. But look what they say later, right? What they say later. This is. Oh, hold on, that's not the point. My bad. All right. Oh, I have to scroll down. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. All right, here we go. It's not clear how much of the increase of killings of black women last year was related to domestic violence. Keep that in mind as we talk about the lead attorney going forward, and how much might be caused by rising community violence or other factors, according to Richard Rosenfield, a criminologist at the University of Missouri St. Louis who studies murder trends, right? Advocates and experts said the stark rise makes it clear it's time to address the factors that have long made black women face a 3 times higher homicide rate than white women. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the lead attorney today. He's an attorney. I don't know what kind of attorney he is, but he currently makes over $25,000 per month on YouTube. If we were to just take him at his word on his about page, this channel, it says the channel description, this is a picture of him here. It says that this channel is dedicated to help inform the public on legal issues, particularly issues concerning family law. So it makes sense, obviously, once again, we're talking about the lead attorney. Want to learn how I make well over $25,000 a month on YouTube? Well, you can go ahead and go to patreon.com/, that link right there to follow the lead attorney on Patreon to start making you some money as well. It might not work out as good for you, but give it a shot. I encourage you. Everybody should try YouTube. We're talking about the lead attorney today. So why? What did the lead attorney say? Well, the lead attorney said a lot of things. We're just going to start at the very beginning, not the very beginning, rather. This is a 5-hour live stream. So we're going to start at the 1 hour and 16-minute mark. I'm going to check this live stream to make sure that we're actually getting all the volume correctly. I'm going to play this video. While I play this video, I'll be looking at my phone and make sure I don't mess anything up like the last live stream. Let's take a listen in right now. All right. So I see that y'all can't hear. It looks like we're having the same issue again. So give me 1 second. Let me try and correct it. I'm glad I decided to at least check it this time. So we're making some progress on the trash, right? We're slowly coming out of the trash. So give me 1 second, y'all. My apologies. My apologies. I should have this figured out by next time. So let me just slide this all the way back up. All right, let's go back home. Okay. I see what the issue is. All right, my apologies, y'all. I see what the issue is. Give me 1 more second. It's going to look crazy for 1 more second, then we'll continue. All right, we're good to go. All right, let's go back here. Bill.
But it's also not seeing any fucking
language warning. Sorry.
But it's also not seeing any fucking options. What are my options?
Let me say something right here, all right? I know we just started, but I find it very interesting that there's a rise in prominence of black men that just seem to be very emotionally off, it seems to me. Why is that? What exactly, I mean, I don't know if the lead attorney has kids or if he's going through it or what exactly he's so upset about. He's acting like it was his sister that got shot, like it was his mother that got shot in the head. They got shot in the fucking head. He's acting like it was his daughter that got shot in the head, like it was his family member. And I don't mean to speak ill about children, so forgive me, y'all. I don't mean to bring children into this, but he's acting like it was his family member. His, like, I don't know, why exactly are you so upset that this guy, that the system made a guy kill 2 people in himself, essentially, right? The system, essentially, right? Well, my question is this. Aren't you a part of, like, the solution to the system? Aren't you, like, an attorney? Why are you complaining about the system? If you're an attorney, you're somebody that can help change the system, I would think. You're somebody that knows the ins and outs of the system, I would think. Let's continue on for a second.
Does anybody, I have a question for you guys. Let's just take it back. Let's step back. Does anybody think this would have happened like this if the default custody situation in the nation was 50-50? Listen to what I'm telling you. If you walked into court and the judge said, listen, it's default 50-50. Unless somebody has some real proof about something, some not allegations. Fuck these goddamn allegations. Real proof. If someone,
something's wrong with this guy, yo. Like, for real. Something straight up is wrong with this guy. This guy's got it in him too. That same thing that we just saw with homie, with bro that killed 2 women. The entire reason we're talking about this live stream, that's it right there. That's that same energy. Absolutely.
someone doesn't have some real proof about some shit, then it's going to be 50-50. Does anybody think this would have happened?
That's first and foremost just an outrageous question to ask. Would this have happened if they had 50-50 custody of a child? That's speculative is what they would use in the court terms, right? That's not what good lawyering is, lead attorney. I would expect you to at least bring or argue aside from facts and not from speculations. There's no way we could know whether or not this would have happened if the relationship was 50-50, but there have been situations where both parents have custody and then one of them end up knocking off the other if something happens. This is just this weird kind of grandiose way to somehow once again pull all the attention off of the man in this case, because we are in this black male worshiping time, and there's nothing wrong with giving black males who are good black men out there their just due. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not seeing that many black men who are worthy of actually having their just due praise to the masses rising up through YouTube and being praised by the majority of the black males on YouTube in the black manosphere, by majority of black men period in our community. I'm not seeing that sturdy, emotionally well-balanced, healthy thinking. Oh, cool, you're an attorney for 20 years. That's great, but what is your essence and your core like? What I see you in you is not what I would want to see in my attorney of 20 years, personally, just in my opinion. So, oh, my bad.
50-50. Unless somebody has some real proof about something, some not allegations. Fuck these goddamn allegations.
Nah, bro.
Real proof.
That's enough.
If someone doesn't have some real proof about some shit, then it's going to be 50-50. Does anybody think this would have happened? That's why I owe AJ some fucking money. I'm going to give him $20 because it's the court system.
All right. Let's exit out of this. It's the court system that is responsible for what's going on right now. This was given to me once again by a subscriber. This is the best friend of the victim in this case. This is going to be a very long read, so audio listeners, I'm just reading a Facebook post. This is my beautiful friend Tara Mandy LeBang. This was her right here. This is the woman that was shot in the head. Does this look like somebody that was trying to, and obviously you can't tell a person's identity, their characteristics by their looks. That's foolish, but obviously we can tell that for the most part. That's not somebody that we would generally assume and be trying to get over on somebody. That's not the type of energy I get from that picture. I'm not saying because she's Asian or this or that. It looks like she was in a very normal, productive position in socio-capitalistic America. Right? She's a victim of a very senseless crime. She was shot in the head by Rajae Black, who she recently loved but broke up with. And that love prevented her to think more about herself and her unborn son. Her identity and story gets lost in the heinous way this crime was committed. But she deserves more than that. Her story needs to be heard. I've known her since she was 17 years old. She's 24 years now. She saw me studying for a nursing exam and decided to take it up and that excelled to a level way beyond me. It's a little tough to read, forgive me. Because of religious differences, she was isolated from her immediate family. Throughout the years, she always reached out to them with minimal response, but she never gave up hope that one day it would be different. So she went through life mostly on her own, with support of her friends and a couple of extended family members. The energy and love she has for my daughter and all children always stood out. She could never get enough hugs and love. She always never valued herself when it came to relationships, many times picking up the wrong guy while always giving them a chance to do better. But she still loved and laughed wholeheartedly despite her past circumstances. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You try and be hypergamous, you're a gold digger. You try and get with somebody who's trash, it's your fault for not picking better. She managed to put herself through nursing school. Then she moved to California alone for a job opportunity Hawaii couldn't offer her. She worked as an ICU nurse for years. She wanted to further her career by becoming a CRNA and moved to Baltimore for school. Rough location. Her new location was much further from any support of her friends, and with that, she became the perfect victim. Let's go ahead and stop this right here. The perfect victim. What is the perfect victim? The perfect victim is a woman who is in an area that is maybe a little bit more seedy, that doesn't necessarily understand the type of seeds that are in that area, the type of fruits that might grow out of the trash soil in that area, doesn't understand the type of volatile environment they're in. And they're a very nice person. They're a very trusting person. They're a very loving person. That's a perfect victim for men out here who are wolves in sheep's clothing. They're perfect victims. That's why young girls in the communities, this is why children who are born with no fathers in the communities are perfect victims, because they're raised in communities where there's a lot of volatility, there's not a lot of resources and protection, and there are wolves disguised in sheep's clothing. All right, let's go back to this. She dated him, in quotations, a little over a year, and in such a short period of time had so much turmoil. When the relationship started, our communication lessened. She was supportive of him, gaining custody of his children, so he came into the relationship with children already, and was told a lot of negative things about his ex-wife, which she believed, this is the black woman I assume, which she believed she lent him money to support his legal efforts. She even gave this dude money. I want you to understand. We're going to go back to lead attorney here. I want you to hear what the lead attorney is saying about the system and why this guy was justified for shooting this woman in the head. All right, let's go back to what lead attorney is saying here. Because once again, these manosphere dudes who have hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers at this point, and if you look at the super chats once again, if you don't think that pandering to black men pays off, look at these super chats. You think I'm a pander? Let me tell you something. He's making more than $25,000 a month. I'm estimating that lead attorney is probably making closer to $35,000 to $45,000 a month with his growth and with the type of message that he has. You know why? Because he understands that if you talk badly about black women, it's a recipe for monetary success. No matter what you do, you put a suit on, you hop on YouTube, you're automatically going to be taken in the wings of acceptance. That's the name of the game. Pander? Okay. Onward march, shall we? I have to turn my desktop audio back on, so let me just make sure I have it on really quickly. I know the graphics don't look that good, but sorry, y'all. We'll get a little bit better soon.
He murdered people. I get it. He's a fucking murderer.
No, you don't.
I get it. I'm an attorney. I know what a fucking trial is. I know what a murder is. What I'm telling you is that it's my opinion.
What I'm telling you is that my opinion is that he was justified. That's essentially this is what all men want to say. This is what all these guys want to say. All right, they understand. I don't think it's right, but hey, she had it coming. Let's go back to the story of who this woman was. All right, this is these guys' minds. These are leaders. These are the black men that are being risen to the top. Very disturbing trends we have coming up in the next 10 to 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. He was not happy and showed up unannounced. Actually, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. By the time things got bad, she reached out. I've learned that he wanted to change their relationship to an open relationship, which she couldn't do. So instead, he wanted to see other people, but kept her on the side. He would confess, and she would forgive. By this time, she is already pregnant with her baby boy and is even more torn to stay despite him not being loyal. He offered abortion as a solution on several occasions, but she was older and longed to be a mother. Was this going to be her only chance at being a mom? She wasn't certain. Jesus Christ, man. She hoped that the baby would make him value her more, but instead he insisted that if he ever had to fight for custody, then she wouldn't win because he knows the ins and outs because he was going through it. He already had a child, of course. He was convinced she was fooling around so much, so he installed a camera in her smoke detector in her bedroom without her permission and knowledge. This made her see him for what he was, and she acted upon it. She told him not to contact her and went down to the court to file charges for the camera he placed. She gave her 90-day notice plan to move to California. She also sent a letter that said she wouldn't do any of his subcontracts that she scheduled under his company. So she was working for him, providing money for his legal issues, for his legal problems. Y'all dudes, man, y'all niggas are evil, bro. Y'all niggas are evil, man. Y'all niggas are evil, bro. A lot of y'all are evil, bro. Y'all have some serious demons inside. I know I'm not trying to offend the mystics and, all y'all out there, but they don't have the good demons either. This woman, and I can, if I was to look at somebody and just give the benefit of judging character and look at Mr. J Black compared to the lovely lady here, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little bit more trust and character to the lovely lady versus Mr. Black. No offense. And my brothers would do the very same thing if they were walking down the street. Yeah, Mr. J Black's car pulls over on the side of the road with a flat tire, and her car pulls over on the side of the road with a flat tire. Who are you gonna help more? Who are you going to see more trusting in the alleyway at nighttime? Oh, don't. Yeah, I know. Black man, Jonathan. You hate black men. I know. You do too. When he realized that Tara was done completely with the relationship, it seemed he became obsessed with the custody of her unborn child. She then confided that he slapped her face twice and pushed her down while pregnant. My fear for her safety increased knowing that he had been physical with her. He started texting or speaking to mutual friends and colleagues to sway them in his favor. He told them that she fooled around on him, which she firmly denies. He even messaged me to badmouth her. I didn't respond. He texted cordial messages about being supportive of her pregnancy, even if they aren't going to be together initially. Then he texted her not to contact him, but then sent a barrage of rants and negativity to her on all social medias. He shared texts from women who were interested in him. He did anything to degrade her, but she finally was standing up for herself. And that's where you get that. Now's where the issue comes into play. There was a YouTuber, I forget his name, so give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and bring his name into it. I'll put his links up. And he had this article. Let me find out. Let me just get his link and post it right now, actually. I hate when people be, hold on. There was a YouTuber that had a video, and it had some articles with more information on this guy. Once again, we start adding all these pieces of the puzzle. It's a very disturbing, very, very, very disturbing story here.
All right, y'all. Kevin Samuels is using the...
Sorry about that. I'm just going to give his channel link right here. It's PBM, Vegetables, Junk, and Food. He actively talks about the manosphere. Make sure you subscribe to him. Check him out. Let's go on with the lead attorney a bit more before I go on to my next point here. Actually, no, we're going to read this news article. Anyways, so... This idea and what this guy said was that, well, they're just making up all these charges on me. Online court records from the Howard County Circuit Court show the Black's custody case was reopened in 2018 and remained in near constant filings over 4 years. One as recently as last week in which Rajae Black was accused his ex-wife of blowing off a court-ordered custody exchange. A hearing was scheduled for next month. Wendy Black begged the court to protect her from a man she called violent and unstable and determined to kill her. So this was already in the courts. This was already in the system. This system that Mr. Lead attorney claims doesn't work. It's actually flawed and broken. You know what? I might be a little inclined to agree with them in this case, because she reported him for her safety, and still she ended up shot because the system failed her. You're absolutely right, Mr. Lead attorney. This is the one thing that I think you said in the 5 hours. I'm not going to watch even a percentage of that I agree with here. The system did fail. Absolutely 1,000%. In what world we have attorneys now trying to sway the court of public opinion to protect a man who, regardless of whether or not he was done justly or unjustly because of his children being taken away from him, in what world we have an attorney who's supposed to understand the difference between good and evil to some extent, defending this type of person is beyond me, ladies and gentlemen. But what's also beyond me is the fact that this type of person can not only make a living on YouTube, but do so and become wealthy.
Does anybody think this would have happened? That's why
let me make sure that the volume's on. I hate having to do this, dude. Sorry, y'all. All right. I don't know what the deal is with that. So it shuts off one time, then it just stays on, I guess. All right, we're going on.
Does anybody think this would have happened? That's why I owe AJ some fucking money. I'm going to give him $20. I know what a fucking trial is. I know what a murder is. You. Right? He would be at work today if it was a default 50-50. But it's not a default 50-50, which is...
You saying, and this is a very twisting point here, if he had a default 50-50 relationship or custody, whatever it might be, he'd be alive today and everything we will. No, that doesn't make any sense. You're assuming that if they have a 50-50 custodial judgment, that somehow they're never going to have another argument in life, that somehow they're not going to meet up one day and she might do something or he might say something to piss her off. She might piss him off. Next thing you know, he's taking swings at her. You don't think that this type of stuff happens at kid exchanges, that the parents curse each other out on the sly, or that they throw slight little shade while they're exchanging the kid off at McDonald's? You don't think that happens? So 50-50 just magically fixes the situation. Getting married magically fixes a situation for him, and automatically she's seen as more valuable now, right? You're nothing because you're not married, right? There's no absolutes to a situation, to a case like this. For somebody that's been a lawyer for 20 years, it behooves me to try and speak a message of absolutes. But once again, YouTube pays in people who speak in absolutes. You're paid if you are a complete one-sided niche who has a complete one-sided message. You're paid better doing that. You're not paid for having a jack-of-all-trades type message. You're not paid for having a balanced message. You're not paid for actively not participating in drama 24/7. No, you're paid for participating in drama. As a matter of fact, well, I'm not going to say that. Let's continue.
This is why it aggravates me to no end when I hear women say, oh, well, men don't fight for their kids. I don't even. That way. I don't even want to go down. If I went down that
Let's clear one thing up. Fighting for your kids does not mean shooting their mother in the head.
road about that whole fucking argument, that would tack on another hour to your long stroking. And I ain't gonna do it. Y'all have been super patient.
This guy's weird.
I do want to say this though, because a lot of men are more gracious than this man. And they will just take themselves out. They're like, I can't do it. They'll take themselves out. Do you know what the irony is? The irony is that when they take themselves out, or even when they take the women out, the irony is everybody says, "Oh, look, we were right.
Huh?
We were right. He is crazy."
Wait. Maybe I'm not understanding. Do y'all understand that? Did that make any sense? Let me look at the comments really quickly. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, if somebody kills people for not that good a reason, I'd say he probably is crazy. Is that crazy to say? What the hell? This is bizarre, man. This is bizarre. Lead attorney, let's continue on. Fascinating. All right, stop right here. Got to rewind it a bit.
Super patient. Or even when they take the women out, the irony is everybody says, "Oh, look, we were right. We were right. He is crazy." But he would not have been crazy under a fair system.
Let me what? All right. So the system's not fair. All right. The system's not fair, and so now what? Now what? The system's not fair. Aren't you a part of trying to help change the system? Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing? What's the solution then? How did the system become this way? Who set the system up this way? You know what's funny? Just looking at this from a very non-gender, well, I guess you have to say gender in this case. Women didn't make up the court or the judicial system, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen. It was men. Men made up the court system. Men wrote and drafted most of the laws. Most women didn't do anything until like the 50s and the 60s. You know what I mean? And even then, most of the court child support laws aren't written by women. They're written by men. If you don't believe me, just look it up. You don't believe me, look it up. Why are you so upset with women? They didn't write most of the laws. Women are getting into Congress now. You better believe that. They're writing laws now, but they're not writing most of the laws that you're so afflicted by. The system, I think you're attacking the wrong group of people. But we know you're attacking the wrong group of people. You don't want the real smoke. Most of our brothers don't want the real smoke. We don't have the potential. We don't have the opportunity to really handle the real smoke. Not now. Not with our frame of mind. Not with our inability to reason logically. That's for sure. Let's continue on here. The system. We're back at the system, ladies and gentlemen. The white man's got his foot on our necks yet again.
I can put you in some situations where you turn crazy. Everybody in the chat who's like, oh, he's crazy. I can put you in some fucked up situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in some messed up situations. You know what I never did in that messed up situation? I never pulled a firearm out and then pulled the trigger while I aimed it at somebody. Regardless of how angry I got, regardless of how crazy things got, I never even thought about doing that. Unless I had to protect myself, in which case then I would have thought about it. But that's not even a thought in my mind. Sure, I'd like to punch somebody in the face, maybe if they were saying or bullying a little, a kid or somebody else. Sure, I'd like to hit them. But we're tying very extreme ideas and trying to normalize these extreme ideas right now. And so this overall message that's been seen 70,000 times at this point is that it's understandable why he did that. I'm trying to get you ladies to not get yourself offed as well because the system is so messed up. And these brothers out here can't control themselves because the system is so messed up. So you better keep yourself in line. That's what the lead attorney would have you as a woman take from your solution here. While he stares you down very intently, very, 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 very intently, very evilly almost, I would say, and tries to use some sort of physical intimidation, I would would assume, to get this message across if he was in a domestic type of relationship. There's a very big aggro intensity to him. And when these types of people are in relationships, most of the time they don't tend to do very well because they don't have the ability to switch that light switch that just ends up taken off, right? They don't have the ability to stop going from 0 to 500 miles per hour. And because he is an attorney and he is well-spoken and he speaks, he's educated, he's intelligent, he's this and he's this and he's that. Once that switch flips, you're not getting anybody to come back. You're not getting him to come back. That's for sure. That's for sure, for sure. Let's continue on here. Why is he holding scissors? Let's see what the scissors are talking about. We can all be in stressful situations, ladies and gentlemen, but most of us will never kill anybody. There's no justification for being in a stressful situation and killing somebody else. You will go to jail, and you'll be relying on somebody like this to get you out of jail.
4, 7 black men rush in, and it's just you.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
And they pull out some.
Yo, somebody clip that. Somebody clip that video, like that 10 seconds right there. Somebody clip this and send that to my email, thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. This nigga here is a fool. All right. Mr. Lead Attorney, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue on a little bit with what happened here. When he realized that Tara was completely done with the relationship, it seemed he became obsessed with the custody of her unborn child. She then confided that he had slapped her face twice and pushed her down while pregnant. My fear for her safety increased knowing that he had been physical with her. He started texting or speaking to mutual friends and colleagues to sway them in his favor. He told them that she fooled around on him, which she firmly denies. Said that he badmouthed her. I didn't respond. Just kind of reviewing what I said earlier. He texted cordial messages about being supportive of pregnancy, even if they aren't going to be together. Then he texted her not to contact him. Our later conversations were more about her and the baby's future. She recently started feeling her baby boy moving, which made her happy. She said that her cat Jorge, who typically isn't a lap cat, started sitting on her near her belly. We talked about names that she liked, Aiden, but she was not 100% sure. The last time I messaged and talked to her was 24 hours before her murder. She was worried about a biopsy that she had done and was so relieved that it was benign. A biopsy typically is if you have a lump or something on your skin. It could be a tumor, maybe potential cancer, and so you go get some of the fluid drained, then they have some of the blood drained from it, and they have lab work done to figure out whether or not it's cancerous or it's some kind of tumorous material in your body. So that's what a lab work or a biopsy is, right? So she had a biopsy. She thought that there was something going on. She was pregnant. She was stressful. She was dealing with domestic violence situations. She had a system that, just like the lead attorney said, completely failed her, which is why she's not on this planet, nor is her unborn child, nor is the other woman in this case. She had no other help. She was tired and just wanted to rest and cut our conversation short. I told her I loved her, as I did every time I got off the phone with her during all the recent drama. And then December 11th it happened. I lost my beautiful friend to an ugly crime. I'm proud of her that she didn't just let him in her house that day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm stopping it here once again. If you have not bought a firearm for yourself and you are a woman and you are legal to do so, I don't know why you are not doing that. You need to go out tomorrow. You need to go to Cash America Pawn. You need to go to First Cash Pawn. You need to go to Cash Plus Pawn. You need to go to A1 Pawn. How do I know so much pawn shops? Because I was homeless for 5 years. You need to go to a pawn shop, put your 10% down on a Taurus G3, a Taurus G3C, a Taurus G2C, maybe a Glock if you have $600 to spend. You need to go put something down on a 9mm or a 40 caliber handgun, and you need to have it on you and start carrying it on you and training at all times in 2021. You just never know, all right? You just never know. Stop listening to the message and act on the message, okay? I mean that very much. I'm proud of her that she didn't just let him in the house that day. She kept the door locked even though it wasn't enough of a barrier to keep him away and her safe. I'm happy that she's in heaven now with her baby boy, and their souls will be together forever. I'm glad that he ended his life, because if he was still alive, my anger would be inconsolable. I'm sad for his daughters in the life that they now have to live without their mother, who battled with him for years for their safety. The parting message I want to share is that pregnant women are a highly abused population. And if someone can hurt you a little, who's to say they can't take it to the worst extreme, death? And as helpless as you may feel, the victim of abuse has to be strong enough to stand up for themselves and love themselves. more than their abuser. God bless all. I believe that's her and a friend right there. That's both of them there. And that is one of the children, and that's her child that no longer has the mother. And the world continues to spin in the manosphere, ladies and gentlemen. I make sure that you're liking on the way in. We're talking about the lead attorney, and we're talking about men that support or that understand why a man would shoot or kill the mother of his child and then kill himself as well. Because the stresses of having your child taken away from you justifies that, because just some guys can't handle that type of stressor. I'll say that. Pressure, stress, we'll say that. Stressor. That's a good word. I like it. I'm saying it. Some guys can't do it, so it makes sense. You know what? Here's my thing, lead attorney. Even if that was the case, even if, let's just say, I could entertain that some guys don't have the actual ability to control their emotions enough that they can't go and kill the mother of their child because they're going through the system that is so broken, right? Let's just say that they absolutely can't do it. That they just snap. They can't do it, right? Cool. In what world do we somehow try to change the guidelines to accommodate, or the rules to accommodate, terrorism? Right? What do I mean? California recently let out a bunch of prisoners. What do I mean? What do I mean by that? Sometimes I throw examples and I know it's a little hard to understand, so let me just show you a story, all right? Sometimes I can say things, and without stories, it's not as conceptually tangible, I found when I listened to my live stream. So let me just show you something, all right? One second. This is a story. This is a story about a black woman who was killed by a black man who was released after serving 20 years in prison. He was released because of the cerveza virus. Of course, California releases people, and other states release people because of the cerveza virus. They don't want the convicts to die in prison, so they release them. Can't do that. DC woman 71 is killed by ex-con who began terrorizing her again after serving 2 decades. What the fuck? In prison for stalking and beating her before being freed on compassionate relief because of COVID outbreak. But of course, Black Lives Matter, and all white men are trying to get black men, right? I haven't heard a single person talking about this story. What did she do, lead attorney? What did she do wrong? Did she say something after 20 years to piss him off? Did she unjustly get him locked up? It was justified, by the way. I did research on the case. She didn't lie. He beat her seriously after he broke into her home and chased her into a neighbor's house. But listen to the lead attorney, okay? The system is broken against the men. The system is broken against the men. Y'all dudes, I've never seen so many. This is why I don't have any homies or like friends who done like that. Like dudes are so weak. I don't kick it with friends or homies and stuff like that. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The good thing about doing, like, you know, the music thing and everything like that, I had like a lot of boss ass type dudes, like guys who sold a lot of drugs and stuff like that were clients and stuff. You never really had a problem with those dudes who are bosses and dons. There was never no emotional outburst or complaints or worrying about little petty issues and stuff, worrying about little money, worrying about $20. Hey man, can I hold $20, bro? Can I borrow $20? Can I do this? Can I do that? I'll say that. Shout out to the bosses out there, the real dealers out there. Shout out to y'all. I know I talk and I speak downly upon distributing doctoral, pharmaceuticals in the hoods and things like that. But I'll say, at least for the most part, that they have some emotional maturity to where they're not just screaming, raging balls of grown-up childish rage 24/7, right? I'll say that. I'll say that. A lot of other stuff they need to work on. But I'll say that salute to the good ones out there that give back. Hey, some of those guys are out there selling, man, and they are giving back. Some of them, not a lot. Some of them are, though. Shout out to Lil Baby. So this woman was killed. After 20 years, this dude waited for her, broke into her house, again, or waited for her, stalked her, killed her. Poor lady. Sylvia Matthews was taken to a hospital and died from serious head injuries after police arrived to her home on December 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what age you are, ladies specifically, it looks like somebody shot through her window I don't know what it is. She looked like a very sweet woman, and she definitely didn't deserve to leave this earth in the manner to which she did. There's a very big trend going on right now, and for whatever reason, instead of acknowledging the Black Femicide US trend, let me go ahead and put the Black Femicide US Instagram link up here. Instead of acknowledging the growing trend that is black women being killed, you don't have to. You're not a panderer just because you can acknowledge that black women are. There's a trend of black women being killed. You're not just in it for the money. If you acknowledge that black women are being killed, there are growing trends that show this. Well, why are there growing trends that show this? Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. We started rap music, and black men started rap music in the mid 70s and the mid 80s and the late 80s, and essentially it started as the CRIP program, Community Response Initiative Program, or Community Resistance Initiative Program, CRIP, right? It was initially gang banging for a cause. You were going to do something out there and bring it back to the community. It started as something good, but then it got really twisted over time, just like rap, which started as something good, which is a political ideation and something to get the rest of the world to see how black men were being destroyed, beaten in the streets, this and that, to bring identity and to bring awareness to racial issues, intensities, and things like that. It started off with bringing political consciousness and awareness. Rappers used to be some smart ass niggas on the cool, but what is it now? And so now we see and we ask all these questions, and you have guys like the lead attorney and Kevin Samuels saying, oh, well, the women nowadays are just this and this, that. Well, it's like, fool, duh. Of course, our society, our community, our pop culture is effed up. So we're starting to feel that now. It's just that it takes 50 years to start feeling how it affects the generation. It takes 200 years to start feeling how it affects 2 or 3 generations. You don't see the immediate action. But this is why other races tend to do better than us. This is why China tends to do better than everybody, because the Chinese man has a 500-year plan. He understands that it's not about his immediate, but it's about what happened 50 years ago. See, we're still trying to battle what happened 50 years ago in the immediate right now, when I'm trying to look 50 years into the future and acting on that. But most of y'all don't quite see that you're trying to battle right here and right now, which is why you call me a pander or a coon and things of that nature. But I'm looking 50 years into the future when my kids are 30 years old, when their kids are 4 years old, and my grandchildren are going to be on this earth having to deal with worse of the consequences, having to deal with worse situations than what we're seeing now. Because the way that trends are going, it's going to get worse. Oh, truth, you just be. This is Black Femicide US's Instagram page. Black Femicide US is on Instagram every 6 hours. Once again, there are pictures. Make sure you follow Black Femicide. I'm sorry, America. Forgive me. Black Femicide America is the Instagram handle, instagram.com/Black Femicide America. There are pictures, there are stories. This is the other woman who was killed. Now, we obviously showed this,
Black
but
had filed against him, the most recent last year. She wrote, "He threatened to kill me with a gun. He has pushed, shoved, threatened, and bit me in the past. I am afraid of him and his anger and do not want him to know where I live. He has access to weapons." In that protective order, she also claims he was suicidal. In another order, she claims he told her, "I'm coming for you." She wrote, "I am terrified because I do not know what he's capable of. I do not feel that I am safe. I feel that my life is in danger." The protective orders were denied.
The protective orders were denied. And yet you have a grown-ass man up here trying to defend this black man for blowing the brains out of 2 women. Let it be very effectively clear, ladies and gentlemen, that what you're seeing right now, look at Jedi Mike right here. What you're seeing right now is the next wave of white supremacy online. You are witnessing black men continuing the next wave of white supremacy online. When you have black men that would rather take the side of a murderer, when you have black men that are in prominent positions being worshiped by other black men who ain't got shit going in life, who are being crowned as the next savior for relationships, by telling black women that they need to stop talking or using the system against black men, whilst the same system caused them to get shot in the head. Protection of order denied. But the lead attorney would rather have you believe that the system failed the man. Boy, I tell you what, some of y'all niggas are so damn evil, bro. Y'all don't even understand there's no coming back for y'all, man. Some of y'all are so lost. Some of y'all will do anything for that YouTube check, man. And God bless you. Make your 25K. Make your something. Make your whatever it might be. But you know what I found out in life? I found out that anytime a situation that happens to somebody else comes and happens on my front doorstep, it's a little different. All of a sudden, things change a little bit when it happens to you. No. It's different for me, right? It's different for me. No, it's different for me. We're humans, everybody, not just black people. Everybody has this identity that they're different somehow, right? That's why you have some people that didn't want to wear a mask. Oh, well, you know, it's this percentage. I'm not going to fall in. Hey, it's only this percentage of people that passed from the cerveza virus. I'm not going to wear it because I don't. Hey, you know, I'll be right. I'm not trying to politicize this entire conversation with the cerveza virus, so just keep your conversation short and respectful. If you decided to go out and get the poke, then go ahead by all means. You know, if you decide not to, go ahead by all means, whatever it might be. I'm just saying that I understand that as humans, we have this intrinsic way to look at ourselves as a superhero, as different or special. And I think obviously it's good. You have to have self-confidence. But it's being taken to new levels, I guess you could say at this time now, right? It's being taken to new levels where guys, they look at what they perceive themselves to be, when in reality it's like, bro, your life is in shambles, right? You don't need to be dating right now. You need to be working 3 jobs type stuff. You need to be focusing, right? But once again, people and guys specifically, especially when it comes down to romance and dating, have the ability to just look at themselves in this halo type figure, this halo type aura. And this is the halo effect. And psychologically, by the way, good looking people have the halo effect, where when we see good looking people, we judge them as better characteristics or better quality people, as more kind people. So it's interesting, called the halo effect. Look that up. Anyways, I'll look at the comments in a second. I'm going to open up the Zoom in 1 second. Let me just listen to a little bit more of this, and then we'll continue on. I'm trying to figure out what he led into the panel with, and then we'll continue. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Hear what you guys have to say about this.
Oh, so he just opened the panel right there. Let me see if he says something else.
He says that he's going through a custody battle and that his wife is accusing him of molesting the kids.
All right, let me say something else about this, okay? Because he keeps trying to bring up this point that is a false accusation, this and that. Let's say something, okay? Let's just say, and I'm going to kind of blow your minds here for a second, all right? Let's just say, and I haven't used an example like this before, but I was kind of talking in these types of stanzas yesterday and trying to use a different tense of example. So let's just say that she did lie and he never said he was going to kill her, right? Fuck. Let's just say he did lie and he never said he was going to kill her. And that the protection order was denied because the courts decided, you know what? Oh yeah, we think he's telling the truth. We think she's lying. He was never going to kill her. Well, if he ends up killing her, let's say he didn't never say that. If he does end up killing her, then it is now irrelevant whether or not he said he was going to kill her because she's dead. I don't understand how this doesn't make any sense to an attorney. Let's say she's lying. Let's say she made up the fact and brought all these charges upon herself and yada, 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 yada. Let's say she was lying, but she felt like he might kill her. She felt like she was scared. Let's say she just felt like she was scared, but she was lying. Well, he ended up killing her. So the lie has more authenticity to it than the truth in this case. Ah, Lord. What is a lie in this case? $136 people watching, 48 likes. Linlin, good to see you in the building, Linlin. He's not an attorney. Learning IT says, I don't know what the hell anybody. Everybody's everything on YouTube at this point. I had no idea. Alpha Mega says 4 hours. I'm not even. Hold on a second. Let's see. Simone Gamboa said, wow, how effing sad, sick, and embarrassing to these black men. Is there one for whites, Asian, Hispanic? Probably not. Let's see. Chavez says, I'm washing dishes on a free night. I'm ticked off. Forget clicks, likes, and approval. Man up. Stop the foolishness. Folks are gone. TLE needs to be disbarred. TLE's got issues, man. TLE's got issues. Diana Princess says every 5.5 hours, black women are murdered by black men. THT. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like you just put a suit on, and it's like people just somehow think that you're just smarter now. They just take you for your word, right? Oh, I'm an image consultant. Cool, okay. Like, who have you styled? Well, okay, I'm a NASCAR driver. Hell, I'm an astronaut. Tomorrow I might just go ahead and become a dolphin. I don't know. You can be anything you want on YouTube. Just put on a suit. You can be anything. All of a sudden, people just revel in your intellect, your intelligence. You're now like the masterminded thinker. Guys, if you're out there, just go buy a suit. You can make a career on YouTube. Go buy a suit and go talk badly about black women, and just tell all Kevin Samuels talking points on YouTube in a suit. $10,000 a year within the first year, guaranteed. $10,000, a month within the first year, guaranteed. That's the formula. Let me look at some of these comments. These are what the comments says. Brian Tucker said, I'm happy that YouTube restored this live stream. This is an immensely important conversation. Thank you, TLA. These women need to understand that out here, we might just go ahead and blow their heads off if they try and take the kid away from us, man. We might go ahead and blow their lids off and kill ourselves. This is a very important conversation, TLA. Thank you for showing this. Thank you, YouTube, TLA. You're saving lives. Thank you, TLA. This live stream, Marty says, was one of the best ones you've done, TLA. Keep up the great content, sir. Here comes that 1 million subscribers. I'm predicting it. Let's get to Kevin Samuels' level. I'm predicting it. You got my back, homie. You got my back. You have a couple of the ladies. I think they would call her a pick-me, so I'm not going to say anything there for fear of being destroyed. The situation cuts deep. We need to heal before moving on. My heart goes out to the children. Please stop using false allegations as a weapon. They only hurt the true victims. No, the only person that makes a victim is somebody that is an aggressor. All right. False allegations or not, there's a court system. Whether or not you end up getting charged, still up to the court system to decide. There have been false allegations where people have gotten the truth has come out, and in Texas, once again, we talked about yesterday in Texas, if you have false allegations and you put them on the man or you put them on one side or the other, and the courts of Texas find out it is a felony charge. I believe they said it's a second-degree felony charge, all right? Second-degree felony charge if you're lying. So don't act like it's not in the court systems, to be honest, and that there isn't a price to pay on a woman's head if she is lying. Courts aren't just complete fools or lunatics. Judges aren't. You don't think judges don't see or understand that there are some mothers out there that have played the systems? You don't think that judges are somewhat fair to some extent in court custody cases, that they don't actually take time to look and assess where the child should be best in? Do they drop the ball sometimes? Of course. We're all human. We all make mistakes sometimes. But don't you think that the judges, somebody that's a judge, understands nuance probably a lot better than any father that's out there right now? More than likely they do. However, at the end of the day, a judge still cannot essentially change law. If you want to solve the corrupt system, even the judge is not to blame for that. You have to change and draft new laws. You have to get new representatives. You have to get new senators. You have to get new Congress people to change the laws. The judge is only in the position to reflect the laws that have been drafted. Without a new law, it doesn't matter who or what the judge believes in, because they can only push back so far on that paper, that's the writing that's on that piece of paper. But once the writing changes on that paper, then you have the ability for the judge to use discretion and leverage more discretion or personal experience and understanding in relation to child support cases. But it starts with education and starting to change the laws, or getting into school and law school yourself. That's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. It starts figuring out how to become a senator. A 21-year-old kid ran for senator the other day, and he was arrested. 21-year-old white kid. Second DUI arrest. 21, and he's a representative. So there's no excuse for it. He doesn't have a college degree. There's no excuse for it, okay? Maybe he does have a college degree. I don't know. There's no excuse for it. You want to change the child support courts? You want to change the system? Then change the fucking system. How long are you going to keep complaining about it? Y'all complain so much. That's why I can't really click with most guys. I just don't do any complaining. I don't have time to be complaining. That doesn't do anything for me. That's annoying. When I speak to a guy that's just like, man, shit, everything's kind of messed up, bro. I'm like, okay, everything's messed up. Did you go to the temp service today? Shit, what is that? The temp service, they pay daily pay. You can go walk to the temp service at 4 o'clock in the morning, sign up for a job, go to your job at 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't even have to have a car. You can pay $3 in gas and ride share, go to your job at 6 o'clock in the morning, come back at 3 p.m., get you a check that day, then go buy your blunts and get a hotel room. You can get you some money right then and there. The solution is out there, but I don't want to hear day 2 that life is still messed up for you. On day 1, I'm cool. I can listen to that your life is messed up. On day 2, I really don't want to hear anything about it. And to be quite frank and honest with you, with a lot of guys, I just don't even like talk to them. I just completely cut them off if I don't sense that they're actually trying to put a step forward in solving their issue here, right? Now, once again, if I thought that the lead attorney was trying to use this as an instance to bring up awareness to how bad the court cases and the child court cases and situations like that are, I would address this video differently, but that's not the fact of the matter, right? That's not the fact of the matter. We already are aware that there is potential for bad things to happen in the child support system. For you to be a guy and above the age of 25 years old, as soon as you stick your willy inside of her, the thought goes across your head that if you have a baby and things don't work out, that it could be very bad. Every guy, including myself, has had this thought before we went into a woman, especially if you go into a woman unprotected. Everybody knows that, man and woman. Everybody knows that if you have a child, then you have a child with this person. And then you start thinking, I don't really even know this person. Then you start thinking, well, I probably wouldn't even raise the baby with this person. You're doing this all in 10 seconds or so. And then you just flush it to the back of your head as soon as both people are into each other. And you're like, oh, whatever happens at that point, right? Then it's out the window. Until, of course, it's not at the window. And like we said earlier, it matters. It doesn't matter until all of a sudden it matters to you. Now all of a sudden it's different. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I have a baby. I have a baby, and yeah, I created a baby with a woman. But my situation was different though. I'm not like, no, you are a part of the statistic. Remember the guys that would call into the show and they would be like, well, yes, I do have a but, and I'd be like, bro, you can't. No, you're part of the problem. No. You are part of the problem. You created a statistic that you're complaining about. You can't complain about single black mothers when you created a single black mother, homie. No, it doesn't work that way, bro. Okay, it doesn't happen that way. Sorry, not sorry, right? So if the lead attorney was trying to really assess this as I'm trying to help this situation and really trying to understand, give y'all understanding on just how bad the courts are, yada, 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 you're a little late to the party, TLA. The manosphere has been talking about divorce, I say grape. They say grape, so just know that that's the term. You can't say the R word. You can, but I don't know. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Anyways, there have been guys talking about this for, at this point, millennia now. This is not a new concept. Kids know, young boys know about child support. 13-year-old kids know about child support. Like, it's a new day and age. This isn't a revolutionary concept. This is everything that Kevin's been saying, that Coach has been saying, that Rollo Tomasi has been saying, that 21 Studios has been saying for the past 7 years now. Cool, the system's messed up. The system's messed up for everything. Isn't the system messed up for policing too? The system's messed up for this. The system's messed up for that. What is the system not messed up in? Tell me. What is the system not messed up in? You could pick apart things all day long. The system is not the reason why those women are not alive. The system didn't physically take a gun to two people's heads and pull it. The system is an intangible belief, right? It's a machine that operates, that's made up of people, human beings, tangible, material, three-dimensional representations of energy. The system is made up of humans. And so in order to affect the system, you must first figure out how to affect the humans. In order to affect the system, you must first become a part of the system's orientation or the system's need or the system's capillary and arterial. Oh, Jesus Christ. Arterial system. Whatever the heart and vein system goes on around there. Bringing my subcollegiately educated mind to the discussion here, right? And so that's how you affect the system, right? How do you bring down an empire? How do you bring down a castle? Right? A castle's fortified from the outside. You have to find a weak point in the castle. When you find a weak point in the castle, you have to send people inside, but you can't send a lot of people inside that weak point. There can only be a few. The goal is to get the bridge open. Once the bridge is open in the system, then you can go ahead and capitalize and take over the system. But you need to figure out how to get people into the system to which you claim is affecting you. And a lawyer should be the number one person to do that. Not sitting here backing up Black men complaining about the system as if he doesn't have a fucking thing he can do about it, talking about him having 20 plus years of lawyering in the same system that he's complaining about. What have you been doing for the past 20 years? How many people, how many organizations, what have you changed over those 20 years? Let me tell you something. 20 years from now, me at age 50, there's going to be a lot that I've done, tangibles that I've done, real life things that you can see, buildings, brick and mortar institutions that you're going to be able to see from this channel, from the earnings from this channel, from the earnings from everything that'll happen from the vision of what I have in the next 20 years of this, of the honest brand, right? You'll be able to see what is it that you did to actively change the system because your time is running out. It's not just the wall for women. Are you going to complain until the end of your days about the system, leaving the same system corrupted for the next generation? That's what black men, that's what these guys are paying for most of the time. You're paying to hear about the problem, but you don't want to pay to hear the solution. How do we know that? Because all the videos talking about solutions to making money, real estate, Bitcoin, this and that, don't get any views in the manosphere. I've been preached said it. We've been saying it for forever. That does not sell. Talking about the system. The system. System. Systems can be taken down, but they must be taken down strategically. You have to know how the system operates. You can reverse engineer a system. If you don't know a system, you can still learn it. If you don't know an engine, you can take it apart. Just reverse the way that you took it apart, put it back together. All of a sudden, you understand a bit more how combustion works. You might not get it, but once you start dismantling it and starting figuring out a little bit and just dive into it, you'll learn a little bit. You can't change a system that you're not into. We don't have a lot of guys that are in the system trying to change it right now. You don't have the ability to complain about the system. My last thing, all this complaining about the system, and my point still stands. What's the solution? Okay, let's say the system's messed up. Why don't you just go somewhere where there's not a system? What happened to Passport Bros? Just go get some money. Go get some money. Just go move. Form an online business, right? Since you don't want to work for the system, form an online business. Since the system of capitalism is so corrupt, form an online business. Go ahead and move to a communist country and enjoy paradise. Enjoy it. Because the system. Y'all act like living in America is like this arduous chore. I'm in the best country in the world. I'm going to kill my wife because even though I have a life that people would literally kill for and dream of, give their souls for, because I'm a victim of the system. It's time to go ahead and off, everybody. If you're enjoying this, I want to encourage you to email me a show idea and email me any information that you have on the topics that we discuss here, as well as a topic that you would like to have discussed. We're getting ready to talk about a topic that I know is going to be very controversial, and it has to do with the LGBTQ community. Forgive me if I said it wrong, y'all. I'm sorry. LGBTQ. I always mess up. Sorry. And it's going to be interesting. So that's coming up. I still have to do some more research on that. And that's going to be an interesting one, a very interesting one, because we need to have a couple of conversations about some things. We need to talk about some things. We're going to have conversations here that nobody else is going to have. Nobody else is going to want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We must talk about it. So shout out to you, my kind sir, my good friend that sent me that article to my email address. And shout out to you for doing the research. I'm honored to be here with you tonight on this lovely Thursday evening as we start to transition into midnight until Friday morning. My night crew people are still going strong. 25 jumping jacks, that's a bit much. 10 jumping jacks to get the blood recirculating as we go ahead and look into opening up the Zoom links. We have some super chats in the building. Thank you for all who super chat. Erica with the $10 super chat. Erica with the dancing $10 super chat. Thank you, Erica. I want to also say Self Love Heals in the building. Thank you, Self Love Heals. She said the stream is fire. Jerome Whiteside, Organic Black. Thank you for moderating. Organic Black Queen Mercy Lindland. Good to be in the building. Chavis Grenard says it's easy to gripe, not willing to fight. The manosphere. Easy to gripe, not willing to fight. Yeah, you know, it's Diana Princess, she sent me an email. Let's open up the Zoom link. I know y'all don't like Zoom as much. I actually like Zoom more now that I have some semblance on how to actually work it. It's actually pretty good. And it's cheaper than StreamYards. It's higher quality. I get HD. I'm not spending the $50 a month. I can just spend $15 a month now, right? I want to hear your stories. Have you been placed on child support? Tell me about your stories. Now, today we were supposed to be interviewing one of the homies. One of the homies from the other side of town. I'll just say that, right? And he's going to tell his stories. We were supposed to interview him today, but I was busy. I didn't have time to it, so I didn't even hit him up. So that interview is going to be coming up soon. But he's going to explain his stories about child support and everything that he has going on right now. But I want to hear your story potentially. I want to know what's happened to you specifically. All right. So let me sign in really quickly. Why can't I stay signed in on this dang thing? 160 people watching. Wow. Slowly but surely, we're bouncing right back. We're bouncing right back. I'm sure lead attorney's watching. So hello, Mr. Lead Attorney. I'm sure the Logic Sphere is watching. Hello, Mr. Logic Sphere. I think Logic Sphere is pretty upset at me right now. Logic Sphere, you're welcome back on the channel if you want to talk about things. The link to join the Zoom is going to be in the chat box right now. It's going to be pasted. So if you're listening on audio, you're driving, and you can't get to your cell phone, just be on the lookout for it. You'll be able to see it for the rest of the stream. The password is, oh my gosh, what the fudge? Hold on a second. I just copied and pasted a whole bunch. 1 second, y'all. The invitation has been copied to clipboard. All right, let's see here. I can copy an invite link or I can copy an invitation. Which one? Let me go ahead and copy an invitation. All right. All right, bear with me, y'all. Wow. Why did y'all do this? Zoom messed up their own invite. Zoom messed up their own system right here. Let me close that. I thought I was tripping. I'm not tripping. Zoom messed up their own system. See if they'll pay me, man. If I can bring it to their attention. You have to click. You have to put a password in if you try and join, y'all. The password is 503209. 503209. I want to hear about your child support stories, man or woman. There's the link. Is he here? I'm sure he's watching. Will he hop on? No, of course not. I'm sure he's watching. When I tagged a minute, so that little blue tag that you see in the title. He gets that. Whenever you get tagged, it's like a notification, that little bell that you get when content creators upload. It's the same thing. It says that somebody tags you as a content creator, and you can see it. So, yeah, he sees it. Once you get to, I think, 1,000 subscribers, you can start tagging content creators by their username or by their handle, right? We need to stop associating violence with child support and marriage, all right? Black women are dying whether they're married or not. Women are dying whether they're married or not. It's not marriage that's causing it or children that's causing it. It's a myriad of issues, okay? We have Sarah Price in the building. Sarah Price is in the building. It's good to see you, Sarah. What are your thoughts on this conversation today? I think Sarah just left, actually. Sarah just left. Sarah, you just left. So I don't know if maybe I clicked you off. I hope I didn't. Sarah Price has left the building, ladies and gentlemen. So this idea that somehow, right? You need to be married. You need to have a marriage. You need to be married because you got to have protection. I'm not going to protect you. You need to be having protection. You need to be married because when you have a man to protect you, right? Because the man that married her won't pop her too. Do you have a ring, Kevin? Be on live stream. Do you have a ring though? But is the ring you? But do you have a ring? Do you have a ring, nigga? Do you have a ring? What the fuck? What? I can't, bro. I can't. Niggas, bro. God, niggas kill me sometimes, fool. I'll be like, dang, bro. I swear I'll make so much sense when I talk to my brothers, man. And then I'll hear a response back, and I'm like, bro, what's going on, man? What's going on up there? I just gave you some gems. What's going on, bro? I just told you to go to the temp service. Why are you still walking that way? I just told you that if you want a girl to just boss up and go be a boss, go make some money, why are you still complaining in the manosphere? I just told you that if you don't want to get put on child support, then make sure that the woman that you have a child with is going to be a woman that's not going to put you on child support and judge her character. And if you do get put on child support, then sometimes things in life happen and you're going to have to build a bridge and cry and get over it. Why are you still staying in hell right now rather than trying to walk out of it and get into purgatory at least? Maybe you can't get into heaven, but why are you still complaining? How much longer you complain? Bro, I don't have time to complain. That's why I don't kick it with most guys, with a lot of guys, especially I don't kick it with a lot of black men because I just don't have time to sit around and talk about what's going on wrong. I don't have time for any of that. That's why a lot of guys have an issue with me saying that I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't have time for white supremacy. I don't have time for it. No, I don't believe in it. You be okay, cool. Hey, you can enjoy it. Enjoy it. I don't even have time to talk about that right now. Go ahead, you do. You do. My time's too valuable. I don't have that much time on earth. The stream might be a little laggy. So if the stream's a little laggy, I just got a little message that said, "Oh, it's a little laggy." If it's a little choppy and laggy, I'm sorry. All right. I'm looking at Zoom. Has anybody hopped on to Zoom? I think it's because I opened up Zoom, actually. That's why. I opened up Zoom. All right, I'm closing out Zoom. Sorry, y'all. End meeting. If you want to, no, I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep it up. Let me keep it up. True. True, you don't understand child support, True. True, you don't understand. True. The problem with you, True, is that you speak on things but not be seen the way the thing need to really be. I know. I don't have any kids. I know. Guess what? Murder's still wrong. Okay? Murder's still wrong. Is somebody in Zoom? Diana, good to see you, Diana. You can unmute yourself, my darling, my dear darling. You can unmute yourself. The floor is yours whenever you do unmute yourself to speak freely. Speak freely and uninhibited.
Hi, Honest Truth. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Diana. Thank you for being here.
I do have experience in the child support family court system. And what people don't understand is that when the laws for the family court were created, it was created by white men with men in mind as men being the breadwinners when they were married. So when they were not married anymore, i.e. divorce, i.e. spousal support, i.e. child support, those women and children that were no longer a part of the marriage would be taken care of financially. That's what it boils down to. And all these dusty nignogs that want to sit up here and complain about the system being broken, this, that, and the third, it's just a bunch of whining at this point. When I went through my child custody battle, it's been over a decade. I have one kid. Jeez. There were more black men in that court over the course of my case than any other race. Okay. It was sad. Mine was nasty. I sent you a link to your email because I actually did an interview with another content creator like almost 2 years ago about my whole experience in the child support family court system. And it is true that there is a grain of truth to where the courts are in fact biased toward the fathers, especially when it comes to Black fathers, because 80% of Black homes are headed by Black women. And therefore, they know that their kids are going to be taken care of regardless if you're there or not. And they're not about to wait around for you to figure out if you want to be a dad, if you want to be a rapper, if you want to do all this other stuff, instead of taking care of your kids. Exactly. And my thing is, all these people that want to complain, get up off your butt, go to the court and go file for joint custody of your child. Go get a job. Go get your own place. All this living with this heifer, that heifer, this woman over here, being a Rolling Stone. That's instability. Courts are not giving custody to men who don't have their own homes, or if you're going to sit up here and have all these women, those kids better have their own rooms. You better be able to show proof that you're able to support them kids without relying on some other women to do it for you. That is why the moms are getting custody of these kids. They have the money and the finances to support their kids. So if you really want custody of your children, go to court and fight for them. I had to fight for my kid. I hired an attorney.
Wow.
Cost me $10,000.
Woo.
Best $10,000 I ever spent. We here in California. California not playing with nobody when it comes to child support.
So Diana, you had to fight for your child as well as the mother of your child.
Yeah, because
wow.
I met a Dusty in college, one time thing, learned my lesson. I was, very trusting, sweetheart, nice person. I'm not that way no more after that experience. He wasn't who he pretended to be.
Yep.
Met him in college. Not who he pretended to be. Some Dusty at a fraternity told him, oh, go sue her for custody so you won't have to pay child support for your kid. Oh, you want to do that? Okay, well, I'm about to go hire an attorney, and then I'm gonna file for child support because he thought he was gonna get joint custody, and then tried to lie about his income. And see, here in California, this is the part they don't get. If your child's mother is asking you for like $100 or $50 or $200 for whatever for the child, you better give them that money, because if they go to the court and they file for child support, there's this thing called the Dissomaster here in California that is going to determine what your child support is. For my kid, it was $720 a month. Now people are having to pay like $1,500 or more per kid for child support here in California, because they base the income off the mother and the father. And then if you're not working and that mother has to go on government aid like food stamps and government aid to take care of your children, when those kids turn 18, the state is coming after you for reimbursement of every food stamp amount, every welfare check that they ever cut for your kids to be fed and clothed. They're going to send your behind a bill with interest. Filing for bankruptcy won't make it go away. They're going to collect it if you win the lottery. They're going to collect it if you get Social Security, disability. I see it in my profession. They will take your workers' comp check. They're not playing with child support. People still paying for their kids for child support, and their kids is in their 40s. People are being arrears. They too lazy to get off their butts. If you know your job is not making that much money, go to court and ask them to modify the order if you're paying child support. If you don't make that much money no more, the men don't go to court to file to have them modify the order. So the order that they order, it stands until you change it, and it won't go away.
But
then they want to complain. So I just look at people and be like, either don't have sex, keep it in your pants.
That's it.
Or get a vasectomy.
That's literally it. It's that simple.
That eliminates the need for child support. If you don't want to pay child support, don't get married. Don't have sex. If you don't want to pay child support, don't get married. Stay single.
Jesus.
Other than that, if you want to keep doing stuff your way, which is the definition of insanity, then this is going to continue to be the problem. Well, the system is not broken.
Exactly.
They're not waiting for you to get it together and decide you want to be a father when you're 50, and then all these kids that you didn't have no time to raise, now you want to be nesting with them, asking for their money, asking for their resources, asking for organs. Are you stupid?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm dying. Case in point, Judge Mathis' daddy, when he was on his deathbed telling the people in the hospital that was his son, but you couldn't be bothered to raise him, but you lived around the corner from him and his 4 brothers, and you left him and his brothers to be raised in a single home. You didn't even bother divorcing his mother. You packed up, abandoned him, and left. So black men been out of excuses. I'm just waiting for Jeff Sessions and them to get it together in Congress. Because they coming for a lot of people, for a lot of stuff. And all this, I'm gonna just go get my preferences pregnant. Guess what? They're working on legislation right now to increase that child support, because they're making single mothers in non-black communities, and the non-black men ain't having it. So everybody complaining about the laws, go to law school like I'm doing, get into politics, do something, because if you're not, you don't get to complain.
That's it right there. You can't complain about the laws. And then
I digress, and thank you for having me.
I appreciate you being here, Diana. Thank you so much. Diana Prince, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see Z Noir Divinely in the building, as well as Lin back in the building. So it's good to see all of our ladies here tonight. Z Noir, it's good to see you. The floor is yours, Z Noir. You can mute yourself. And what are your experiences with the child support court systems, or what's your opinion on this story?
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Great. So you have to excuse me, I'm at work.
Not a problem.
My experiences with the court, the child support system, all of this like complaining and whining and crying about, oh, they're gonna give custody to my kid, to the mom. That's a bullshit lie. Ooh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry for cursing.
You're fine.
All the fathers that I know that went to court and fought for their children, they won them. They won full custody.
Really?
Hands down. Yes, I know at least 20 dads that went to court, fought for custody with the mom, and won custody of their children.
Wow. That's amazing, actually.
The courts, when a child is born, they are born 50-50, period, until the court change the primary custody. The only time the courts go in and change the primary custody is when you have a custody dispute. He could go and pick up his kid and doesn't have to return the child, and there's literally nothing the police can do unless the mother files for full custody.
So this is so.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
That's just crazy. Yeah.
And I know this because my biological father used to kidnap me and my little brother to make my mother come home when she would try to leave him.
Wow.
So
I just don't understand where the disconnect is. I don't know if the internet, I don't know, something sensational about the internet. It's able to take a concept or a story or a myth, and it's able to solidify this myth and enshrine 24 karat gold raining down with fire and brimstone in connection with Jesus Christ. They're able to somehow take a pagan's like wild story tale and make it the solidified word of Jesus Christ to be lived by through everybody that's ever been born on the earth of the planet. It's fascinating. It'll be the most random kind of just wild story you've ever heard. And then once I look at the story and I start digging into it, most of the time, and I said this on the last live stream, even if it's a story that they try and use, like this guy here who killed the woman, they're like, oh, the system was against him. Well, a simple Google search, and some of our users who are awesome, by the way, who found her best friend's Facebook page, would reveal to you that that's not the case. A simple Google search and maybe just waiting for a day for some more news to pop up, right? But once again, that one random story that was told 11 years ago on this one red pill MGTOW women-hating YouTube channel has found its way 11 years later to our dinner plate conversation now. But once again, if we were to look at this situation 11 years ago, it's nothing even worth talking about. But somehow that's been the hill that everybody's dying on, that all these guys are dying on now. This random ass court case that's just been enshrined in mythological like legacy. It's wild to think about. People just tell stories that they've heard. Nobody knows anything about the story. Nobody did any research on the story.
And the killer part is
just telling a story.
The killer part is okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
The killer part is that if men were to like document and track and date, it was my time to keep the child and she didn't let me have him. If they were to document and date that and take it to court, the child support meeting or whatever or hearing, guess what? She gets the kid removed from her. The laws have been changed for the side of men. They have never favored women.
Really?
Ever. It wasn't until recently did they start protecting women and children and stop taking kids from their mamas. If a man had a job in a house, he gets the kids automatically because what do you have as a woman? Nothing.
Right. Wow. Dang, gum. So that's why they. Whoa.
Sorry, I'm so passionate.
No, that makes sense. So that's why the laws would have been drafted in that manner, in that way, by white men back then in the time. That makes sense with what Diana was saying. Because in a traditional sense or in a traditional way, the woman would have needed some sort of support because in the 50s she wasn't working in the warehouse. It makes perfect sense. That's what would be most conducive for the well-being of the family and for the well-being of that woman to continue to move on.
Exactly. So it's basically
So it makes
like,
sense. It makes sense
it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it makes sense when both parties, or when at least the guy's side of the party is able to handle his side of the bargain, is when the system starts to fundamentally operate on all fronts, or all steam, full steam ahead. When the man is able to be in the position to move within the system in a certain manner, then he's able to see the very best inside of that system, or he's able to get the best out of that system. But if you don't understand the system, if you don't have monetary means to move around in the system, like Diana just said as well, she paid $10,000 to hire a lawyer because the father of her child was going to try and threaten to use the system against her. Well, the same way the guys are going to have to fight, she fought, and she gave her own personal story. So no matter, but what's even more incredible past that is, even though there'll be ladies sitting here telling the same story of going through the courts and the system that affect men as well, somehow the guys in the manosphere will just completely disregard that, and they'll just be like, but the guys though, this guy here, and it'd be like, it was like, well, I don't know if they heard it. I don't know if it registered inside of them. It's like they got it for a second, and their brain was like, cannot compute. Back to regular functioning programming. Oh, but the black guys, right? So it's fascinating, right? It happens on both sides. This is reality. This is reality of the world that we live in. Right? It's not a fair or perfect system, but there are things on both sides that both parties can use. But it does take active participation. Does it suck having to go through a child support issue or a child court issue? I'm sure it does. Is it demoralizing? Is it disheartening? Does it make you not want to go to court and wake up that morning and have to deal with that? Obviously, I understand 1,000% it can be that way. I'm sure I can't understand what it has to be like as a parent to try and fight for something that you fully believe in is yours, or in your better safety or care, right? Because you're taken care of. I understand that. I don't understand that. But you need to understand that there is something that you can do. If you were to just follow lead attorney's advice, there's nothing you can do because the system is just out to get you. You're just screwed. The system. Look out! It's the system! You know what I mean? Like just running around with your chicken with your head cut off. It's okay, all right? It's okay. The system's not going to eat you, all right? Just learn how to move a little bit. Let me tighten. What the fuck is wrong with my mic? Learn how to move in the system. You don't have to be scared of the system. If the system wasn't so, if I wasn't so bad at football, I would be good at football. If I knew how to be an astronaut, I'd go to space. Okay. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to learn how to become an astronaut or fix the system, or are you mad that you didn't want to go to school to be an astronaut, or are you mad that why didn't you become an astronaut? Well, why didn't you change the system? Well, True, you don't understand the system, True. All right. Hey, thank you for joining us on this live stream. An hour and 30 minutes. It's good to have you sticking with us. We have 100. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody else is in the background. They're unmuted. I'm sorry, Z Noir. I'm sorry, Lin Lin. I'm tripping, yo. I'm trash. I forgot Zoom was even up. I forgot y'all were here. I'm trash. Lin Lin or Z Noir. I'm sorry, Lin Lin. You're next. Go ahead, Lin Lin. We're not ending, ladies and gentlemen. We are not ending. We're just not getting started. Lin Lin, good to see you again, my dear.
Good to see you too. Hope you're having a good night. So I just wanted to hop on really quick because I know yesterday we were kind of talking about child support, and Koja was on and she went into a lot of great detail about like the laws and whatnot. And I didn't really get too much into it yesterday, but like I feel like a lot of people are out here and they're playing professional victims. And this is all part of just like the dysfunction within the community. Like I can't tell you how many people I know, men especially, that will complain about baby mamas or complain about child support, but then be living in their parents' basement. Like, for real. Like, I'm serious.
Straight up.
Or they, I have rental property and rented to a family, and you have a young man who, like, all of a sudden just has a kid. Like, just has a kid. But they're living with their parents. So, like, it is a problem because people are just out here creating babies like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing, bro. Like it's nothing.
Like you're creating a whole human life. You would think that there would be more consideration, more thought, more preparation going into this.
Man.
But when we talk about the law, right? And this is where it comes into like professional victim. There's a term for this, and I don't know the exact legal term. Some of the lawyers maybe in the chat might know, but it goes like this: ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Ignorance is no excuse for negligence. Yeah.
Yeah. Ignorance of the law, meaning not knowing about the law. If you break it,
right,
you can't use the excuse that I didn't know that I was breaking the law.
Wow.
And I forget there's a term for that, an actual legal term that is what it means. But if I was to run a red light, I can't tell the police officer, I didn't know that you're supposed to stop at a red light. I still broke the law anyway. They're still going to hand me my moving violation.
Facts.
And they're going to say, I'm sorry you didn't know about this, but you broke the law.
I'm sorry you didn't know. I'm sorry you didn't know. Now you do.
Exactly. And so when it comes to like this professional victim mentality, what do you think? Do you think women are just coming out of the vagina 100% well-versed in the law?
Right.
And they're just out there just waiting to trap a dude?
Right.
Because they just have they have a whole file cabinet filled with all of the different child custody laws and all the different jurisdictions, and they are just like out here being like legal experts of the law. Because like when you talk about, they're like, yeah, women, they know, and they know that you don't know.
Right.
No, you're ignorant. You're ignorant. The same research that lady had to go out and do to figure out how do I keep my child, or how do I figure out these custody laws, is the same research that you could be doing. That you should be doing, actually.
Yep.
And I commend any man that is doing that is actually fighting for his child. That's absolutely 100% what you should be doing. But nobody's out here born a legal expert.
No.
They're seeking that information out. And at the end of the day, if you're not seeking out that information, you can't claim ignorance. You can't just claim, oh, I'm a victim because you didn't. And Coach, I was talking about people are out here not even knowing the proper court to like file for, custody or whatever, visitation or whatnot. And, it gets really intricate, and people out here not knowing. It's because you didn't do your research, point blank, period.
Yep.
And if that's what, the guy who was on before was advocating for, I'm down for that. Cause I think it's good. Like, fathers, you should be fighting for your kids. Of course you should be fighting for your kids. So, I would never like shame that, because I think that absolutely you should be. At the end of the day, there is no set of laws that is 100% foolproof, right? Every law is leaky. There's always going to be some little thing to get around it. But at the end of the day, the majority of the time, the law will be justified.
Yep.
And so yes, you might have some struggles here and there, but at the end of the day, and this comes back to like the very beginning, who are you choosing to have these kids with? Because we're out here popping babies like it's nothing. And so that's where I was kind of trying to, like, I guess, take it there with that conversation as far as like, why is there not more planning? Why is there not more thought? Why is there not more consideration from the upfront as far as planning for your children, planning for a family? But when you start kind of headed in that direction, it's like, no, women don't want families. Women don't want marriage. Women don't want this and this and that.
Right.
but they're good. But they're good enough to have your babies. So I'm sorry, as a woman, if this is what you're hearing from the men in the community, that, oh, I don't want happily ever after, F marriage, but pop out my kids though, but continue my legacy though, but have my children so my legacy can continue, but F a marriage and F happily ever after. I'm sorry, legacy does not get to continue through my womb. It will not. And I would encourage other women, if a man is telling you you're not good enough to marry, but you're good enough to be popping out his legacy, that is a privilege. That is a privilege to have a child.
The highest.
And that's how we should see it. Children are a privilege. They're a blessing to us. It's a privilege to be able to see your seed grow.
Absolutely.
And so if a man is looking you in the eye and telling you he doesn't give a F about a marriage, F you're happily ever after, F this and that, but he wants you to pop out his children, close up shop. It's time to close up shop and go to someone who would actually values you.
Lyndon, I think you muted yourself. Unmute yourself if you can, Lyndon. Something happened. Lynn's phone might have died, actually. I don't know how Zoom works, but if her phone died, it might appear as muted right now. Okay, there you go. You're back.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. We hear you. Sorry, it muted for some reason for a second. I don't know why. Oh, it muted again. There you go.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, at the end of the day, if a man is looking you in the eye and thinking that you're not good enough to marry, you're not good enough to, want that happily ever after with, you're not good enough to want to build a cohesive.
It went on mute again. It might be something with your headphones, Lynn, or maybe your cheeks might or your cheek, like your face cheek, might be sorry, touching the phone screen. It muted again. Y'all should still be able to hear it. Lynn, if you're hearing, just unmute yourself and continue where you left off. But I think she was going to pretty much finish off, the point that she was making. She's absolutely 1,000% right. Another great word, great word from Lynn, and I appreciate her calling in. And
that is a privilege.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you muted again, and we just caught the last three words you just said. I don't know why it did it again, Lynn, but if you want, we'll try one last time to give your last words really quickly.
Okay, really quickly. Having children is a privilege. Be mindful and be careful of who you have them with, period.
Perfect. Thank you, Lyndon. I appreciate that. Sorry, I don't know what's going on there. I'll take a look at it in Google and figure out why Zoom muted you 3 times right there, Lyndon. But I appreciate you coming up, Lyndon, always. And I appreciate you, Z Noor, for coming up as well. We are going to go ahead, and now that we've heard the panel and had all the ladies speak, had everybody speak, we're going to go ahead and round this thing on out. I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all for donating. On your way out, make sure if you didn't like and subscribe and turn your notification bell that you do that for me. We had 170 people at the most, and so that's good. Growing back, and we're getting back to it, right? We're getting back to it. I want to thank the $5 super chat from The Light. Thank you, The Light. $5 super chat says they don't want to be held accountable for anything, not to their words, actions, children, or their communities. In the acronym form, H.E.L.L.O, which I saw hello, but I'm not sure what it stands for, though. Maybe help everybody love less often. No, that's not good. We want to love more often. A $20 super sticker from, I can't see the username, African Mermaid. She says, you are amazing. You are amazing, African Mermaid. I appreciate that. I wish that our live chat bot, which doesn't seem to ever work, would give my notifications. Let me go to it really quickly and see if I can't get the little cool sound for y'all. That would be cool if it could just function for one live stream. Normally, if it could just do it one time, I would love it. But it doesn't look like it's going to do it today. Having said that, join the channel. All right, let's see. This damn thing. Now, I'll tell you what. I just can't figure this thing out. I just don't know. I don't know when. I don't know when and how it works. It's worked twice. And then on the other live stream it worked. It only worked for like 30 minutes. Anyways, I want to thank y'all for donating. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow. I didn't plan on going live today, but I wanted to do the follow-up live stream because it was important, pertinent information. It was time-sensitive information, and I want to thank once again a huge thank to the channel member and subscriber that sent that out to me. Huge thank to Organic Black for moderating in the chat and our other moderators in the chat. Huge thank you for you for sticking around for the entire hour and a half on the Truth Seekers Live podcast. I'm coming back, and I'll be back tomorrow. My voice might not be here tomorrow, but I'll be back tomorrow on another live stream. Set your notifications notification bells on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap it up for this episode. Take care of yourselves out there, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, and thank you, Self Love Heals, for the $30 super chat. Thank you, Self Love Heals. $30 super chat on the way out. If you have not considered self-protection, then that should be your mission for tomorrow. Before you get to work or after you get to work, stop at a firearms store and walk in and talk and ask about self-protection. Gun guys love to teach about guns. Gun guys love to talk about guns because it makes them feel badass, especially if you're a woman. Walk in there acting all dainty and at least walk out with a pocket knife. Walk out with something that you can have to protect yourself, to arm yourself, to take care of yourself, your children, your loved ones, the legacy of your seed, your blood that runs through your veins. Make sure that you have something on you to give yourself a fighting chance. A chance, but make sure it's a fighting chance nonetheless. This is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Like on your way out. My name is Truth, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. Take care of yourselves, and until we see each other again in less than 24 hours, I love you.